Welcome to the Explainer. You ever feel stuck, like you're running on a hamster wheel repeating the same old patterns no matter what you do? Well, today we're diving into the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza. We're going to look at the science of why that happens, why we get so stuck, and, more importantly, how we can actually break free and build a whole new reality for ourselves.
I mean, think about that for a second. To create a new personal reality, you have to become somebody else. That's a huge idea. But why is it so ridiculously hard? It turns out our own biology is kind of wired to keep us stuck right where we are. Understanding that, well, that's the key to everything.
All right, so here's the personality problem. This is the core issue, right? We say we want a new future, a new life, but we try to create it with our old self. It's like trying to run brand new software on a 20-year-old computer. You're running an old program, but hoping for a totally different result. And as Dr. Dispenza points out, it doesn't work like that. If you want to change your reality, you've got to change your personality first.
In this question, this really gets to the heart of the whole mind-body connection. I mean, we all kind of accept that our thoughts can make us sick, right? Chronic stress, worry, we know that stuff can mess with our physical health. So if that's true, doesn't it have to work the other way around? Could our thoughts, our intentional thoughts, actually make us well?
Okay, so if our thoughts are that powerful, why on earth do we stay so locked in the past? Why is it so hard to move forward? Well, the answer is in our biology. We literally become addicted to our own feelings. And the whole thing kicks off with the body's stress response.
Think about it like this. In the animal kingdom, stress is a short-term thing. A deer sees a lion, runs for its life, and 5 minutes later, it's totally chill, back to eating grass. The threat is over, the stress is over. But us, we're a whole different story. We can turn on that exact same emergency response just with a thought. We can worry about a meeting that hasn't even happened yet, or replay some stupid argument from last week over and over, and our body thinks it's in a life or death situation right now.
And that rush, that jolt of energy you get from stress hormones like adrenaline, it is so powerful. And believe it or not, it's addictive. Your body can get so used to that chemical cocktail that it starts to crave it, which is wild, right? It means on some subconscious level, we might actually go looking for problems or stir up drama just to get that familiar chemical hit of anger or fear or whatever our drug of choice is.
And this is how that vicious cycle gets going. It starts with a thought, right? Maybe an insecure thought. That thought then creates the feeling of insecurity. And what does that feeling do? It makes you think more insecure thoughts, and around it goes. When you repeat that loop enough, you're physically wiring that pattern in your brain and you're chemically conditioning your body to expect it. You're literally, biologically stuck.
And you can see how this escalates over time. If you let that emotional reaction go on for a few hours, we call that a mood. You're in a bad mood. If it sticks around for weeks or months, now it's your temperament. Oh, he's just an angry person. And if you keep that same emotional reaction going for years, well, that hardens into a full-blown personality trait. And that's when you start saying, well, that's just who I am.
So if we're basically programmed to just repeat the past over and over, how in the world do we break free from that? Is it even possible? Well, according to Dr. Dispenza, the key is to consciously, intentionally shift our biological state. We have to move out of that constant survival mode and into what he calls a state of creation.
And just look at the difference here. When we're in survival mode, it's all about me, me, me. We're selfish. We're focused on our body, our environment, our problems, our schedule. We feel totally separate from what we want. But in the state of creation, we become selfless. We're not so obsessed with our outer world. Our focus turns inward, and that's where we can start to tap into this field of infinite possibilities.
So the path forward, it's all an inside job. It's not about trying to change everything out there first, it's about going inside. You have to start asking those bigger questions, contemplating, and then mentally rehearsing who you want to become. You do this so many times that you start firing and wiring new circuits in your brain. And the goal? Don't get up from your meditation or your practice until you actually feel like that new person. Okay, so this brings us to the how-to. How do you actually do this? It's all about making this huge shift in mindset. You've got to go from being a victim of your circumstances, always reacting to life, to becoming the conscious creator of your reality. All right, part one of the formula is the thought. And we're not talking about just some vague wish. No, this has to be a super clear, focused intention, a detailed vision of the future you want.
You have to know exactly what it would look like, what it would sound like, what it would feel like.
Now for part 2. This is the real engine of creation, an elevated emotion. You have to be able to generate a powerful, heartfelt feeling, things like gratitude or joy or this sense of empowerment. But here's the trick. You have to feel it as if your future has already happened. The feeling is absolutely everything.
So when you combine that clear intention, the thought, with that elevated emotion, the feeling, something incredible starts to happen. You are literally changing your biology, your state of being, right here in the present moment. You're teaching your body emotionally what that future feels like before it's even manifested.
And this is such a crucial piece of the puzzle. That emotional signature of gratitude, it basically tells your body that the event you want has already happened. When you can feel truly grateful for something that hasn't happened yet, you're signaling new genes in new ways. You're giving your body a taste of the future right now.
This whole idea just completely flips the old model of reality on its head. See, most of us live in cause and effect. We're waiting for something outside of us to change how we feel inside. When I get the promotion, then I'll feel successful. When I find the right person, then I'll feel love. But the quantum model is all about causing an effect. It's about changing how you feel on the inside first to create that effect on the outside.
Here's another way to think about it. Kind of like a broadcast. Your thoughts, that's the electrical charge in the quantum field. That's the what you're sending out. And your feelings, that's the magnetic charge. That's the energy that draws it all back to you. So how you think and how you feel, together, create this unique electromagnetic signature that you are constantly broadcasting out into the universe. So when you boil it all down, what's the hardest part of all this? It's not making the same choice you did the day before. The biggest hurdle isn't something out there in the world. It's overcoming your own programmed automated self. It's that moment, that one moment when you feel that old familiar pull towards anger or fear or insecurity, and you stop, and you consciously choose something different. You choose gratitude or joy. That choice right there, that's where the magic happens. That's where real change begins.
So this isn't just some interesting information, right? It's really a question for you, a personal call to action. Just take a second and think about it. Based on how you're thinking and how you're feeling right now, in this moment, what future are you broadcasting? What signal are you sending out today? And really ask yourself, is that the future you actually want?